good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for Winning with WOW. I am your host, DrDanni, with the Women's Business Center of Richmond, located on the historic campus of Virginia Union University. And today we have with us Miss Nickkol Lewis, the CEO, the master planner, the hostess with the mostest over at Visual Appeal. We're so excited today that we bring to you an element of our segment that talks about boss ladies, those who have emerged from sometimes their corporate background. Sometimes out of necessity, they've turned their side hustle into their primary hustle. But if you can take your passion and turn it into your paycheck, we want to talk to you. But Nickkol has been doing this thing for a minute with her graphic design, marketing, and branding. And we are going to have her drop some nuggets with us today to help us to know a little bit more about her journey. This show, Nickkol, is really focused on you telling your story in your way, but encouraging others that the business plan they may have on the shelf, the ideas that they've been thinking about, that they too can do that, pick it up and turn it into something real. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk about your business.
Absolutely. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here today, and I look forward to sharing some information, hopefully some nuggets of wisdom that will help someone else along their way. A little bit about myself. I am a native of Richmond. I've been here all my life, and I'm a graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University. Go Rams. I went through the art and advertising field there before launching my business. But I am truly passionate, love to help others and see them grow along their way. So anything that I can share, I'm willing to do so.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So help me with this. So you came out of the university and went straight into your business.
I did on a part-time basis. So while at the university, of course, they expose you to entrepreneurship opportunities to intern.
Mm.
And I did in the newspaper industry for a bit. But my first job out of the university was with a packaging design company where I started as a graphic designer and worked my way up to the office manager there. I started Visual Appeal on the side while I was there.
Oh, wow.
I believe that everything that we're exposed to are stepping stones in our journey. And so there were things that I picked up from that position. And when I left there, I took a position at a small advertising agency as their production manager. And there I learned additional tools from my arsenal, still working Visual Appeal on the side. I was actually put on 3 months bed rest with my daughter
Mm.
and launched full time into the business. It was the company that I worked for, the owner was just so gracious. He sent me opportunities while I was on bed rest.
Hmm.
And I sat up there with my belly and my laptop and did what I had to do. But at the end of the day, when it was time to go back, I had enough work that I really didn't need to. And so I started 1998 full time in Visual Appeal.
Well, praise the Lord. That's sometimes when we think about how people come into becoming the CEO of their career, being able to call the shots, as it were, we may sometimes miss the idea that, I don't know whether or not men do it like us. I'm not trying to throw any shade or anything, but we do it walking backwards, nursing a baby, however it takes. We find a way to make it happen. And I'm curious if you could share with me, um, you know, what were some of the early sacrifices that you felt that you had to make, or even some of the trials that you have encountered that said, well, maybe I need to go back and work for someone else. Is this thing real, or were you just out the box? I know this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna be able to sustain myself doing it.
Oh, yes. I will tell you, early out, I started as a freelance designer primarily. I mean, I was home based. I had small kids, except I had my daughter, and I had a son already. And so I was balancing that, trying to be the mom, show up, be there for them at activities and things at school, volunteer, and then balance the clients. Some things that we ran into early were really setting those clear boundaries for business, because when you work from home and you work for yourself, clients would tend to think you're available 24 hours a day. And so really being able to get some of those boundaries in place and structure things along the way. And then it moved into me becoming a business owner. I was a graphic designer. I hadn't gone through business classes. I hadn't gone through all of that fundamental, what's required to kind of establish. It just kind of naturally, organically, and I think God just works it out that way. He put people in my
Shout out to
circle.
God.
I'm telling you. He put people in my circle who were encouraging and supporting. Even the gentleman I shared about who I worked for, we're still connected to this day. Wilford is in his 90s,
Wow.
and he's retired to Florida. He still reaches out to me periodically. We connect and talk about things, and he still encourages me along the way. So I think that's another important thing, is to surround yourself with people who are going to be supportive and going to help lift you up and pull you out.
That's awesome. We have another segment sometimes that we do called Fire Creatives. And I like that piece about it because it's one of those things where we get to talk to people who are colorful, people who are innovative and
Mm-hmm.
creative.
Mm-hmm.
They walk to their own beat, I like to say. They focus on being able to, sorry, somebody's calling me.
I said
I know,
juggling.
right?
You're still
I
juggling. I
know,
tell
right?
you.
But but the piece of it that really comes into play is you touched on, you were graphic design, and there were tools that were in your toolbox that made you excellent at what you did. But then there were some other tools that you need to go and get as it relates to running a business. Can you talk to us about, was it through mentorship? Did you take any training classes? How did you interlope into the position that you became a business owner first? Your talent, your skill, because we also talk about in our Fire Creative segment that a lot of creatives get fired because they are walking to their own beat. But that doesn't seem to be your challenge. I'm just curious to know, where did you pick up those skills that you needed?
I think a lot of it is I have a very collaborative spirit about me, and that's not common in a lot of designers. They can be territorial; they want it their way. But I feel like we learn more when we connect with other people, hear their perspective, and grow from there.
Definitely.
And so within my journey, I've also connected with individuals in other facets of life, in other areas of business, who were able to feed into me, help me to understand what I needed to do, and kind of direct me a little bit along the way. So a lot of that is just being
Mm,
open to hearing what other people have to share that are going to help you.
okay. Did you ever have to get any kind of business loans or anything like that?
So no, initially I've grown the whole business organically. I took out my very first business loan just before COVID, when we were expanding the office, and I needed to get some additional furniture pieces, and I decided, okay, I don't want to, kill our cash. I'll get a loan. It'll allow me an opportunity to start building up in that space. That is the first time I've gotten a loan since I've owned the business. It's all been just watching the money. I tell other entrepreneurs who are considering entrepreneurship, it's feast or famine. You're not going to get paid on the first and the 15th like you do. you know. So you have to be open to understanding that you get this contract that paid you this money, $40,000. Great. Don't go spending $40,000, because you don't know what's going to come in a couple of months where you may not have that bigger project, and you got bills to pay. You got overhead. You got staff. And the people who are depending on you. You have to be able to meet that. So it's important to be just watchful of your spending. Really think through, do I really need this now? Is it something I can wait on? And for me, I'm just real prayerful about it.
Okay.
Even when I moved into my office space, I was praying all the way over there to sign that contract. Okay, Lord, I need you to be audible in this moment. Am I supposed to be doing this? To make sure that the steps that I'm taking are not stepping out on Nickkol solely, but to make sure that I'm
And he will direct your
yes, he
paths. I mean,
will.
how, and I'll be honest with you, I had no idea that I was going to end up on WQCN 105.3. I
Ah,
mean, it feeds my spirit to know that the community of folks that we're talking to tend to be faithful individuals who understands that he will speak to you
oh
when you
yeah.
need to be spoken to. And so we're excited to be in this space, and we're excited to have you here today. Now tell us a little bit more about the services that Visual Appeal offers to its clients.
So we are a full service creative agency. We focus on energizing brands, and that's through messages that entice, educate, and engage. We want to look at the holistic brand, so visually and verbally making sure that there's consistency. And so our internal resources are primarily on the visual and verbal brand, but we also have strategic partners that we align with for photography, for advertising, either on the radio or in the newspaper or on television. So those resources are available to our clients. But I believe in being just transparent and clear about our focus. And we want to connect you where you need. But that's primarily what we do.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I was just looking at the mic and it was across your face. But anyway, I'm sorry. But the content is on point. So the visual might be a little bit challenged, but the content is on point. So I do. I mean, so when I so so do you remember how we met each other? How we came in contact?
Through an opportunity that you had with Owens and Minor.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. I can't remember who told me about you.
Was it Sabrina?
It,
No. Um, yes, it was Sabrina. Sabrina
So
Smith.
it might have been Sabrina. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
excellent. So shout out to Owens and Minor, Sabrina Smith, and Vicky Lyle over there, still doing great work. But yeah, so I think she may have talked to you about a program or a project that she was working on, and then she introduced you to me, and I was like, this is a great fit. Because talk to me about what you do. Of course, you want to serve any client that would come to you, but sometimes there's just the right fit. And so,
Absolutely.
could you talk to me about what you go through to try to get at a point where your clients have articulated enough that you can take what they've given you and then, in the spirit of what they're looking for, respond? Because I remember how it just clicked for me. Because I like people, when I say what I say, I like for them to be able to come back with something. Very rarely do I want someone to come back exactly what I said. I want a little pushback because I want your expertise.
Mm-hmm.
If I was the expert, I wouldn't need you. So talk about, just managing your clients and getting to know what it is their needs are.
For me, it starts with the conversation. We don't charge anything for consult because I believe it's important to really hear and understand what it is that the client is looking for so that we can capture that vision. So it starts with really just sharing that dialogue and capturing what it is that they need. And then we go back to start developing the process of the proposal. Um, there are times that we're not going to fully align with every client, and I recognize that, and I believe in having those hard, tough conversations. If it's not a good fit, I don't want to waste your time, and we don't, we need to be respectful of each other, and so we'll say, we're not the design house for everyone. Our client base is generally university, state agency, nonprofit, small business. So we know that we're going to be in that space. Um, Startups are hard because they typically don't have the budget. But I will provide you with the tools and resources. I'm not going to turn you away and say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But let's talk about realistically what can be done, put some stepping stones and phases into place. And if you're serious about doing it and you're dedicated to doing it, you'll make a way to get it done. And so we try to have those conversations where we understand what they need and we can meet that need where they are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's an important thing. I mean, a lot of people don't think fully about their brand and that everything that they do communicates. And especially at the center, where we are really trying to help and facilitate businesses starting and thriving and trying to help people to understand it's not just enough, like you said, it's not about the money you earn, it's not about the money that you get as a grant or the monies that you may take as a loan. It's how you manage that, and it's
Absolutely.
so important to be able to balance today against tomorrow, which you may not know what's coming. And so when I think about what you have shared a little bit about your journey, it just begs what is the value of a brand? Like, we're preparing to do some training on intellectual property
Mm-hmm.
and brand protection. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people, small businesses don't think about, okay, well, I'm creating this brand and I need to protect it, but they don't really know how to understand its value or its worth. Can you talk about that?
I think it's important. A lot of the brands we work with, not everybody will go through the process of trademarking. But I think it's important to at least have those conversations with
Now,
the legal
trademark is
counsel.
what, like $350 or something?
It depends. It
Okay.
depends. So if you are trademarking or copywriting, say, a brand logo, there's a specific price for that. But then there's another price for if you have language. So if you have a tagline that you want to copy or to cover, and so a legal person will be able to walk you through the right legal person
Hmm.
will be able to walk you through what that's going to look like. It can be costly if you have multiple components to what it is that you're putting together. For example, we have a client who has multiple products that they want to make sure they're protecting. So they're paying for that each product. So I think it's important to know specifically what is important to copyright and what things you don't have to go through those added protections for. But I recommend that you have a conversation about it to see if it's something that's best for you. I will say, personally, I did not copyright or trademark visual appeal. Visual appeal, the words visual appeal are everywhere.
Hmm.
The, the legal channels I would go to protect that would be astronomical. It's not worth it.
Hmm.
I feel like what we have established as a brand, it speaks for itself. I don't think it can be duplicated in any way,
Hmm.
and so I'm not concerned about it. But if you have a specific product that you're putting out,
Hmm.
definitely you want to protect yourself.
So is that something that your clients would work with you? Do you bring in a third party? How does that manifest if someone is saying, okay, I want you to create this collateral for me, my logo, or this is my tagline. I think more about logos, and I didn't even know you could trademark colors.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. But do you work with them, or do you bring in a third party to work with them?
So we have a couple of legal entities, both here and out of state, that we work with, that
Okay.
we connect them with when we get to that point. Um, we try to explain that you want to have all of your groundwork kind of together before you go to meet with them,
Hmm.
because their time is money, and you want to make sure that when you're coming in, you're making the best of the time that you've established with this lawyer to talk about what you need, and so we consult them on that part, and then connect them with a resource to get it done.
So I keep saying, wow. Yes, this is the Winning with Wow segment within the Mike King Biz network. And I think about that in the concept because what you're describing and the decades that you've had an opportunity to be in your business, to be sustained and to grow and expand. I love it because economic assets are really important in our communities in general, but to see that you are thriving, and that's the goal of anyone. I mean, the more you open yourself up. I love what you said about being open to receiving, because you can't get anything with a closed hand or a
Cannot.
closed mind. You're even worse off. And so, what about partnerships? I envision, so in my world, you have collaborators, you have customers, you have competitors. And I found that business models can cause you to evolve in any of those. So, can you talk a little bit about your partnerships or referrals and relationships that have been beneficial to growing your business?
Absolutely. So I have a number of strategic partners. One I'll give a shout out to Indispensable Marketing, Patrick McFadden. Yes. So he is an amazing partner. He and I collaborate. We've actually won an award together for partnering on projects. So
That's awesome.
and so he and I feed off of each other. We're going in and having conversations with the same clients, different conversations. He's going in to develop the strategic roadmap and we're implementation. So it's a perfect match.
Excellent.
Another is Brian Robertson with Marion Marketing Global.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, so
Another
he
one, shout out to Brian Robinson,
shout
Marion
out.
Marketing. He is one of the advisory council members on the WIN Council. We are all in
I
at
did
the
not
Women. He is
know
the
this.
Women's Business Resource Center at Virginia Union. He is.
I love it. Yeah, Brian and I have known each other for years since he was back on radio at what's it, Radio One? Yes.
Oh, wow. Small
He
world.
is awesome, but and he understands media buying. He understands when it comes to television, radio, if it's video work, and he is the man that I go to for that type of thing. I don't believe that I have to master everything, but if I connect with people who can master it for me, I don't mind sharing. I just need a slice of the pie. I don't need a whole pie.
And guess what? If we keep making the pie bigger,
Yep,
even though we had a slice, our slice keep getting
it
bigger.
sure does.
You
It
know,
sure
so
does.
it does work.
So,
So how do people reach out to you in terms of? Wait a minute, before I go there,
mhm.
another webinar that we're working on right now is about industry and trade associations and chamber membership. So that kind of all inclusive. Can you talk to us about the value of choosing a good network that's bigger than
Absolutely.
yourself to be a part of? And I know that you're a part of a network,
Yes.
so maybe shout out to MBL and Floyd Smith.
Absolutely. I've been a member of the Metropolitan Business League forever, and I actually sat on the board of directors as the vice chair. And so it is so important again to circle yourself with people who are on the come up. And so the Metropolitan Business League has been instrumental in making those connections, allowing you, they have so many different networking opportunities, some that focus specifically on women business and some that are very general. We just finished our RBA link up, which was amazing. And I made great connections there that I'm following up with for more business. So, yeah, definitely, you don't have to be a member of everything. I think it's important to go get a feel for whether or not it's a good fit for you because there are tons of organizations out here. But find that good fit and nestle in and make those connections and network, grow your business.
Awesome. That is awesome. And if they want to reach out to Visual Appeal,
So if you want to reach out to Visual Appeal, you can check us out on the web at visualappealllc.com, and you can email us at info@visualappealllc.com.
well, thank you. This has been awesome. You have been experiencing Winning with Wow with the Women's Business Center of Richmond at Virginia Union. This is our segment on, boss ladies. And we're going to close this out by saying, first of all, you can reach us at thewbcrichmond.org, or you can hit us up on our socials at the WBC Richmond. And our phone number is 804 525 9499. But the last question I want you to answer is, what is it like working for you, Miss Nickkol Lewis?
I think, well, you would have to ask my team members, but I try to make everything very inclusive and collaborative. I don't refer to myself as the boss in my office, although I am. I consider us a team, and we all work together for a common cause, and that's to grow and make money. So if we're all doing our part, I'm not going to micromanage. I just want you to do what's requested to do, so that we can keep the clients happy and keep growing and moving.
Awesome, awesome. Well, join us here again next week on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. on WQCN The Choice, 105.3 FM.